Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. My guests today are Dale Roberts. He is an Arlingtonian and sustainability advocate, as well as the founder of Java Shack, and Robert Peck. He is the co-founder of Commonwealth Joe. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for being here, because we've been focusing the Sustainable Scoop on our region's sustainable businesses, and we did not have to look far to find you. Right around the corner from the studio is the Java Shack. And if those people who don't come to this area very often aren't aware, I'm going to ask you, Dale, to tell us a little bit about Java Shack and how it got started.
Okay. About 25 years ago, I was living in Taiwan teaching ESL. Found coffee shops over there. When I returned, I thought, this is what I want to be doing. So I set a goal, and that was in 1990. And in December 31st of 95, I sat down with a friend and we laid out the plan for opening the Java Shack. And my goal was to have a community-oriented coffee shop where everyone would feel welcome, and it would be a place that everyone came, cyclists, families, students, and everyone would feel at home there. And so that was my goal, was to open up a friendly community coffee shop.
An institution in Arlington. You certainly accomplished that. It's one of the friendliest places I've been to, certainly to get coffee. Now, how did you and Robert come together with Commonwealth Joe?
Okay, about a year and a half ago, I had been thinking about what the next steps for me would be. And in the back of my head, I was looking for someone who I felt could take over the business and keep it going while I moved on to my next part of my life. And about a year and a half ago, Robbie came into the coffee shop, and young, energetic guy, and we started talking about coffee. And then I learned that he was working with his mother at roasting coffee in Culpeper. And he gave me some samples, and it went from there. And then we just built a relationship. I started carrying the coffee, Commonwealth Joe, and we built a good relationship. And then I just approached him one day about possibly taking over the coffee shop.
Well, you had great confidence in him. You must have. So Robert, tell me a little bit about how you got involved in the coffee roasting business.
Yeah, so it started a little over a decade ago, actually down in Culpeper, Virginia. And my mom and I worked together in a coffee shop there. And I was in high school, and I was a barista, and my mom was a manager and a roaster at the coffee shop. And so she was roasting the coffee, and I was serving drinks. And then I went off to college, and while I was at college, the business owners of that coffee shop, they ended up selling their business and dissolving their business, actually, and a restaurant came in and took over the space. And my mom bought all of the equipment, including the expensive coffee roaster, because she had fallen in love with coffee. And I saw my mom, she was so energetic and passionate, and I saw that energy that she had, that fire to, she was so excited about it.
And you'd been in college consuming coffee constantly,
that's
so
right.
you knew there was a big market.
I was already in love with coffee too,
Okay.
but I was more of a consumer of coffee. She was still roasting the coffee. So she started her business, and over time it turned more into a hobby than maybe like a business. She was roasting for her friends and family, but she didn't really have a marketing strategy. She didn't have a team to help her. So her dream of making this coffee business and sharing her beans and her passion with people all over the area, it kind of turned into a hobby. And so that was kind of sad for me to see that change. And then after graduating from college, I moved into Arlington. I've been here ever since. That was about 6 years ago. I was kind of thinking, after working here for a few years, what I wanted to do, and I knew I really wanted to help people like my mom who had this passion. I wanted to help them share their passion with the world, through whatever it may be. And I was into coffee, she was into coffee.
You are just the example of what people misunderstand about millennials. Not only did you partner up with Dale, but you really partnered to take all the skills you learned to support your mother's business. And now here you are, taking those two strategies, your coffee business as well as your roasting business. What are your plans to stir those passions into growth?
Yeah, so when we started roasting, we were an online business at first, and we got into wholesale, and that's how we met Dale. We sold our beans to the Java Shack, and they would roast, or they would brew our coffee there and serve our, we tried to get them to serve our espresso, but that was a long journey. Dale wanted it to be perfect before he served it in there. And after we were in the wholesale business, we realized what we wanted to do was get into retail and have our very own coffee shop one day. But we were thinking that might be, a year and a half down the road. And that's when, Dale pulled me outside of the coffee shop one day, and we were just sitting down catching up like we did almost every week.
Well, let me just stop you there to let you know that the moment that I discovered Commonwealth Coffee was at the tech shop in Crystal City, up all night drinking your coffee there. And I understand you're reaching out to a lot of businesses in Arlington, and you're trying to grow from there. So how do people get in touch with you so that they could possibly schedule a tasting or find out Java Shack information and learn more about the two of you?
Yeah, the best way to get in touch with us is to go to our, follow us on social media. We're very active on social media. Come to our websites, commonwealthjoe.com, javashack.com, and we have information there where you can get in touch with us. Or the best way, really, is to just come to the Java Shack at 2507 Franklin Road, and we're there almost every day.
I just hope that too many people don't come, because I hate lines and it's just so easy to get service. You guys are wonderful. Thanks so much for coming to visit us at the Sustainable Scoop, and continued success.
Thanks for having us.
All right. And I want to thank you, viewers, for watching the Sustainable Scoop. To learn more about their story and other sustainable businesses, go to sustainablescoop.com or on YouTube. Back to the news desk.